My name is Noni Banks. I own the Diva Movement, where we help women market and grow their business with confidence. So I got into the business development industry out of necessity, really. I've been an entrepreneur for over 20 years. I had a construction company prior to the Diva Movement and then started the Diva Movement. And what I realized is that there were a lot of resources in our city, but it wasn't always easy to find them. I'm a coach and educator and teacher at heart, so it was very important for me to be able to find those resources and then help other people find them. So I really believe that people need access to the information, and that creates more opportunity. So I started just looking for it on my own, and realized that a lot of people didn't know it was out there. So I started to just absorb all that information and started sharing it, and kind of grew from there. I just love helping people grow, and I want them to reach their fullest potential. So I kind of feel like it's my destiny to do this because I'm a natural connector, I'm a natural kind of teacher, and so I started a business out of it. So when I think about investing in myself and continuing to learn and educate myself, it's one of the most important things you can do as an individual, let alone being an entrepreneur. Where you're in any industry, you need to be able to stay on top of that and continuously learn. I'm a lifelong learner, so I never stop learning. And I believe that anything alive is growing and should be growing. So I actively seek out, and I am very intentional about how I pursue those opportunities, who I follow and kind of get that knowledge from. It's really important that you vet the people who you are trusting to teach you. And I think that's an invaluable skill that you need to be able to constantly be learning, constantly seeking, reading, seeking out that information so that you could be the best entrepreneur that you could be. My mom's a teacher, my dad teaches, and so it's kind of been instilled in me, and I think it's very important for you to continue to grow. So some of the ways that I invest in my education and continued growth is attending conferences. I listen to a lot of podcasts to, really just fill myself up with information. I read a lot. I listen to mentors. So I'm always looking for different opportunities and ways to grow. I recently enrolled in some certification courses just to educate myself and step my game up and sharpen my skills. So what I would tell new entrepreneurs just starting a business is to have a plan. I know it's not a very popular and sexy thing in 2022 to actually write a business plan. I tell people it could be a one-pager. It doesn't have to be 18 pages right now, but you have to know the basics of who you serve, how you're gonna deliver your services, put those things in place. One of the biggest mistakes that I made early on in my entrepreneurial journey is I didn't build it before people came. And so when you do that, you're kind of scrambling to say, oh wait, I should have put a cancellation policy in place. I should have put a refund, some criteria around how I'm gonna refund customers, or how I'm like my service areas and things like that. So it caused some frustration where if I had just stopped and really planned it out and thought through everything instead of waiting for the customer to come and then I'm like, oh, what do I do? So just, build it before they come. So being a female entrepreneur, I have had many challenges. Like people out there listening to me today, I'm sure that money to start and grow the business is a challenge. I started my first business, I borrowed against my 401k. And that's a lot of people's situation. I had to have a full-time job and be able to funnel some of that money into growing my business. So it's a real struggle that still exists today. Also being taken seriously. A lot of people say, oh, it's like, that's a cute little business you have. You're like, no, I really spent a lot of time growing this thing. So it's not cute, it's a legitimate business. And really just walking in my purpose authentically and boldly, showing up for myself and my business and allowing people to understand, no, this is a real thing. And, I matter, and so does my business. So those are just a few of the challenges that I've had. Well, the best part about being an entrepreneur is being able to be free. Be free to create your own destiny, be free to be creative. You know, people don't realize, and I didn't realize until a few years ago, that I'm very creative. If you're building something from the ground up, you have a lot of skills, and creativity is one of them. We get very creative when it's time to, you know, find a solution for a problem, find money, find options, resources. So, you know, I just like the flexibility and the freedom to express myself and to walk in the fullness of who I was called to be and be able to serve other people. Self-care looks a lot different for me right now in this season that I'm in. I really fell into that trap of that hustle mentality, just get up and grind, go, 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 don't stop, won't stop, you know, type of attitude. And it really just, you know, I've had periods of burnout, but recently just crashed and burned. And so really for me in this season, it's about being very intentional about not only caring for my business, but caring for myself, the person who runs the business. So I schedule a lot of time of doing nothing and really taking time for me and taking time to meditate and reflect and to slow down and to think about, what do I want this next season of my life, of my business to look like? And right now that means really putting a lot of care into myself. I exercise, and that's an important thing for me to do. It helps my mental health. It helps me to physically feel stronger. It gives me motivation and courage. I feel courageous like when I'm exercising, because I'm pushing my body to do things that I have never done before. So I take time and schedule them. So I put them on my calendar so no one can come in and put anything else on my calendar. It's my time to exercise. And one of the things that my trainer says is, you're doing this is for you. So I constantly kind of replay that, like, this is for me. And I get very selfish with my time, and I don't feel guilty about it anymore. So I take that time, and focus on me. And a lot of times women entrepreneurs, especially if you're a mom, you feel kind of selfish if you're taking time for you when you're like, oh, I could be doing 50 other things. But you're a very important thing to work on. I also go to therapy. That's a very important part of my self-care routine. And it helps me. It has helped me tremendously to grow as a person. I suffer from anxiety. In a pandemic world with everything else going on top of being a business owner, I need to have some type of release, and I need to have some type of calm and consistency, and that helps me a lot. I believe as you grow as an entrepreneur, you enter different seasons, and that season's transitions, they change. But the one thing that you have to be consistent about is caring for yourself in every season. I want to be known for being a servant leader, for really helping to build other people up, helping to help other people see their potential, fulfill their purpose in life. Since I've been a child, my parents have really instilled, like, what is your purpose? Why are you here? And really it all comes together for me is to empower. And I know that's a buzzword now and people are using it and overusing it, but really for me is to help people just to see their brilliance in their beauty, to be able to tap into that. If I can serve thousands just by touching one person, that would be enough for me. So really just a legacy of empowerment, of hope, of resilience. I want people to just be hopeful about their future. So my name is Noni Banks, and my company is the Diva Movement. It's thedivamovement.com, and then the Diva Movement Inc. on all social media platforms, and then Noni Banks on LinkedIn.